Well, this is downtown Manila near the airport. I stayed 2 nights in a hotel there. And one thing I'll say is that big cities are the same everywhere you go. Whether it's Abu Dhabi or New York City or Manila, it's a lot of people jammed into one location. And you'll notice that there's a barangay sign. Well, a barangay is a local government unit, kind of like a neighborhood like Hell's Kitchen in New York City, but this is an official governmental unit with elected officials. Manila itself, I mean, I like it. It's a fascinating place. You see all the cables. These are the things that catch my attention. It's the same exact way in Nepal, in Kathmandu. Exact same thing. So again, cities are cities no matter where you go. People are good no matter where you go, and I love it here. So after leaving Manila, I spent most of my time in the region of Magsaysay on the island of Mindanao. I won't tell you the whole story of Mindanao because we don't have time, but we did a lot of local travel over to the east coast by the Surigao del Sur to Lianga Bay. And I'll point out that Surigao itself is famous because that's where the last battleship engagement was fought between the Japanese and Americans in Surigao Straits. Siargao is a different place. That's an island and that's famous for world-class surfing. So, so fishing is the name of the game in Surigao. Whether it's Del Norte or Del Sur, which is where I'm at. This boat is named Surigao City, but that's not where we're at. We're closer to Surigao del Sur, which is on the ocean side. And we're looking at a boat haul-out facility here. So that's where they hauled this boat out for the dry work, it looks like. Over here, got another boat being built from scratch. So shipbuilding is alive and well here. Really, I would love to get a closer look, but there's a guard dog that growls at me. So you see the big white boat's already been constructed and it's being fitted out. The wooden one, or the one that's not yet finished, is getting there. I like it here. Hot as hell right now. So first I'll show you, these are fiberglass sheets that we're looking at here. So if you look closely, you'll see this is a fiberglass sheet about 1/8 of an inch thick, maybe 3/16, and that's what's going to be the sheathing on the outside of the hull of these new boats. And that is the coolest pilot house I have ever seen on a boat. And that fiberglass sheet on the top of the pilot house kind of gives me an idea for what to do with my boat. Essentially, it's a hardtop with a wooden frame, and there's no reason I couldn't build one like that for my own boat. So we're looking at basic wooden construction. So this is traditional wood frame construction. Everyone is through bolted to the stringers, and then they're going to put the sheathing on the outside. Very good. And they put a great big diesel engine in there somewhere. Very nice. The type of wood is yakal. Yakal. Is it good against the water? Here's some of the small boats. This will eventually be the center hull of one of the large pontoon boats. And this looks like a sawmill. You can see all the shavings. So they've been ripping these boards down. I was sure the sides are made of plywood, but you never really know. It's beautiful. Just really beautiful. These guys belong up in the shipyards of Connecticut and Maine.
See this boat? It's like this. It has a machine too, right there. We go right there. It's like a yate, but it's little. It's like yate, but it's little. It has a machine right there. This boat too has this makes our way the path, and This one is like
this boat picked us up from the location where the boat building was taking place, and it's running us out to a place called the Britannia Island Group, and you can see it there on the map. And we follow this course to get there, from Lianga over to the Britannia. It takes about an hour of this on this boat, making about 10 knots most of the way. Beautiful, just beautiful place. Run by locals, it looks kind of like this. Pretty simple outfit, pretty simple stuff. If Disney were here, of course, it would cost us $150 to enter. And what you don't see in Disney is little Catholic shrines, which I think is pretty darn cool. I like that. Yeah, one thing you may notice is that it's a very thin layer of sand over a lot of flat rock. So easy walking, but probably very bad anchoring. Here it comes. I think that everybody who's watching this video knows that the Spanish were in the Philippines before the Americans were. So if you're in the South region especially, it's better to use Spanish pronunciation rules to guide your pronunciation of the words. For example, this city, an American might pronounce the name Gingoog, but if you use the Spanish pronunciation rules, those G's are pretty much silent, so it's actually pronounced Ingoho. We're at a fruit market. But what I love best about these cities is all the varieties of motorcycles that you see and all the smaller vehicles that you see being used. People are pretty darn inventive, and a motorcycle can be used in many, many ways. Sometimes they're fitted with sidecars like you see here. Sometimes they have wooden planks mounted on either side. Those have a vulgar slang name for them. And then there's like small vans or multi-cabs. There's things called bao-baos. I love it. But my favorite, I think, is a jeepney. These are everywhere in Manila, and not too many here in Magsaysay.
This one is pretty unique. This one is more normal. You see this a lot. But the wooden one, well, that's a unique one. It's different. I'm looking for a hubble. So there's some rebar. So this is attached with some rebar to the frame of the bike, and then they built a shock absorber, which is attached to the bottom. And then in the front, it's attached there. So they weld on that stud, this piece. And they have another welded attachment point down here.
In English, sex, habal-habal. In the Philippines.
Picture na habal-habal. The chicken.
Oh, I want a picture.
many people can fit in one of these. Adult. So these are outrigger canoes, locally made. Basically plywood boats with bamboo outriggers. You can see how they're made. And they even come equipped with a bow thruster. Now that is the definition of a fishing village. Well, I don't know what I look like, but that's the spring-fed river behind me. It's really, there's 100 of them in Florida that are just as good. This one's, I'd say, moderate size. It's not flowing enough fresh water to keep the water tasting fresh water. The water's actually brackish in there, but it's actually just like the saltwater chemistry pools. Actually, it's beautiful. It doesn't. You can open your eyes underwater. There's no stinging. It's really good. I had a great swim, so I had a lot of fun there.
Fogging up the glass here. And this downdraft is exactly what happens in thunderstorms.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Well, one thing I learned is a new way to open coconuts if you have this sort of crew member. And it leads into my topic of, well, what's it like? What's normal living like? Well, I was lucky enough to stay at the home of a family that I met in Abu Dhabi. So they were kind enough to open their doors to me, and I just had a great time. Whether it's retouching my roots as a farm kid from the sticks up in Michigan, or just sitting here upstairs watching the beach for hours and hours on end. You know, I just never got enough of that. You know, haircuts on the beach. I really just had a great time for the entire 3 weeks I was away. And the only way this visit could have been any better at all would be if I had sailed in and dropped an anchor out there. Where you see that floating cottage, you know, that water is about not even 50 meters from the beach, and it's 6 meters deep. Beautiful, crystal clear water. Just gorgeous. That is rice?
Rice.
Oh my God. Rice and coconut. See?
Oh, yeah. Rice and coconut.
Daisy, what are we making here? What do you call this food?
Maroon.
Maroon.
Yeah.
Maroon.
Maroon in Leyte.
Maroon, okay. So, and what I'm looking at there, that is rice.
Yeah.
Even though most people would not see rice. Is rice mixed with coconut?
Yes.
Milk?
Blend.
Blended with coconut and some with chocolate.
With chocolate, cocoa, and milk, and there's a margarine.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
And these, of course, are banana leaves, correct?
Yeah.
And then when you're done, you will steam these.
Steam 1 hour.
1 hour steam. So you're slicing up the bamboo leaves to tie this up together.
Right.
Uh-oh. I'm under attack. Uh-oh. We've seen your kind before. Yeah. Run when the going gets tough, huh? Okay, we're here to see the fire. So, standard wood fire, and inside of that is a steamer with all those sticky rices, but it's not called sticky rice, it's momo, I think. Okay, so how do I just unwrap?
No, just there.
Tear which end? Do you know? Tear this end.
Depend where.
Tear, like rip
Yeah.
this way? Okay. And now what?
Yeah, like that.
Okay.
Then
And then I just stop and eat,
Yeah,
or do I
then
squeeze?
no,
No.
squeeze. Eat, then there again.
Okay, but that's enough. Now I can take the first bite.
Or
More?
Yes,
Or
yes.
just take a bite?
It's hot.
I don't know. It feels hot.
no, it's not. On the test.
That's chocolate.
I tasted chocolate.
Then
No, it's very good, and it does not taste like rice at all.
yes,
It does not taste like rice. Nobody would guess it's rice.
it's rice.
Here's a close-up. Maroon.
Moron.
Watch him, and this is how you look if you spend the whole day chasing girls. And you're too tired, and they don't want you, and you end up fighting with the other dogs, and you get the purple stuff on your face. That's what you get, buddy. Is it okay to take some pictures in your store? It's okay? See, that is certainly different from where you might be used to, is that you'll see people in the evenings coming here to buy 1/2 of a clove of garlic and 1/4 of a cabbage, something like that. And you're going, what the hell? You can't do that in many countries. You have to buy the whole cabbage. You know, but here, many people don't have refrigeration, so they buy the food from the grocery as needed to make the food that day. They don't keep a big stockpile in the house because they'll get ants and things like that. And they don't have refrigeration, so they can't make really big dishes and pop them in a Tupperware and put them in the fridge after you're done eating dinner. So there can't be leftovers, and there's not a big supply of food supplies. That didn't come out right. There's not a large amount of food supplies kept in the house. So, and one thing Americans, like many Americans, would be surprised to see eggs sitting out in the open, but this represents the way it is done in almost the whole world, is that in most places in the world, eggs are not refrigerated. Even in the UK, you will not find eggs refrigerated because they don't need it. So I buy eggs like this. So on my boat, I will buy 2 of these flats of eggs. And sometimes they're 5x5, sometimes they're 6x6s. For this one case, these are 6x5s. So you buy 30 eggs, that's enough for me. So I'll buy 1 flat, and I will transition them to plastic egg holders that I put in the bilge. That's what I do on my boat. Yeah, so very hot here right now. So for a sailboater, this kind of grocery actually suits us very well because most people on boats have very, very small refrigerators also. Here in town, I was told that it's about 50% of the folks will have a fridge, 50% do not. You know, so this type of grocery shopping and the way we store the eggs, you know, without need for refrigeration, that's normal for me. I don't put the eggs in the fridge on my boat, and I might if I'm in port on shore power. I could. I have a fridge. But when I'm at sea, if I'm going to get 4 or 5 days of no sunshine or poor sunshine, the first thing to go is the fridge. So you can keep beer, unopened soft drinks, no problem, because when the fridge turns off, they stay fine. So I always buy the shelf milk when I'm in the U.S. or any place else, and that's all that's available here is shelf milk. You don't find milk in coolers. So.
Twist and remove. Oh, it's not coming off. I need a knife.
There we go. Dragon fruit, and these are the red dragon fruits, which are the real delicacy.
Good morning. First we look at the biggest papayas I have ever seen.
For scale,
That's the size of my hand. Not even half the size of what some of these papayas. Biggest papayas.
Shower.
Yeah, it's not a good look, Sash. Not a good look. Not for brave man. Oh my gosh.
Okay guys, we are here in Rock Island. Kev, over there, you can see there is the forest over there. The sea is very beautiful, and the beautiful.
What the hell are you doing?
Well, and I acknowledge that I'm not beautiful like some of the ladies in the Philippines, but I'm doing the best I can, and I am very thankful for good health and freedom. And I just had a blast and a wonderful time in the Philippines. I can't think of a single bad day there. The only way it could have been better is if I had spent 2 years crossing the Pacific and sailed into the Philippines and finally dropped my anchor for good. And I can't think of any country that I like better than a place I'd rather live. So I just had a great time. Very, very glad that I went. I'm refreshed and I feel so much better now. And now I have a couple of weeks of getting work done, like I mentioned in the previous episode, and I'm making good progress there. And we'll just see what I get done and what I don't get done. And I'm mostly going to focus on preparing my next jump, because I'll be going to the Bahamas, which is someplace I've never sailed before. So it'll be new for me, and that's the whole idea of adventure, is to go places you don't know and you're not familiar with. So all that said, I'm going to get back to work. I'm going to have some lunch here, and then let's keep the adventure going. Take care, everybody. Bye.